And we are back and looking better than ever, I think, personally. My immediate first step, though, is I gotta find out if there's a delay. So I'm gonna hide some stuff so you can't see what I may or may not be doing. And then we're just gonna go to my channel. We're gonna hit live. I got bam, 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 bam. Okay, here we go. So this is the current live. What I may or may not be doing. Go to my channel. We're gonna hit live. I got bam, 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 bam. Okay, here we go. So this is the current live. What I may or may not be doing. This is Devin doesn't seem live. That's a long delay. Bam, 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 bam. Is there always a delay if you film yourself? This is Devin doesn't seem live. That's a long delay. Maybe because it needs to convert it from the Streamlabs to YouTube. Maybe that's what's going on. From yourself? Yeah, I'm still rocking about a 20-second delay. I'm making so much noise over there, Daisy. Maybe because it needs to convert it from the... Maybe there's like a settings or something like that I'm missing. Advanced settings. It's a brand account. Hate to verify things. Yes, it's me. Okay, wait. Oh, I guess this is if I'm going to be like combining them or something like that. Okay, which I definitely don't want to do. I only have one channel. I don't need all that nonsense in my life. This would be interesting.
See, this is the...
Let's pop on this real fast. I realized I just spoke like 4 sentences in one thing. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that. I assume you guys can still see my face. You can. Nice. Okay, let's see what Asmongold has to say about this real fast.
See, this is the... Yeah, feminist celibacy movement 4B is trending in the U.S. after Trump's win. What is the 4B? I know 2B. It's a radical feminist movement. Oh boy, boycotting men.
Donald Trump is president, and I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years in protest and protection of your bodies.
In general, I think you should be longer than 4 years. You should probably keep your legs closed permanently. That's just my snapshot opinion, though. I don't know enough about these people.
I'm done. All I have to say is...
Oh, you're gonna hear it. There's gonna be reverb or something because my sound is coming from the TV. So, I guess I'm gonna be watching clips on the internet. Okay, Asmongold has headphones on. I can put headphones on. Right? 2 can play this game. Guy. Okay, let me pop over to my settings. So, I'm gonna put this on speakers. Okay, now let's see. Hopefully you guys shouldn't have feedback loops or whatever. Sorry if that was happening. I'm just gonna hit play though.
Good luck getting laid, especially in Florida. Because me and my girlies are participating in the 4B movement.
I'm gonna be honest, I was very blindsided by the results this morning. But I also have decided that for the next 4 years, I am going to abstain from schmex with men.
I can tell you one thing right now.
I like how she added in men. Like, women are an option.
Marriage is the farthest thing from on the table.
And as if that wasn't enough, some...
That's hilarious. Women don't control marriage. Men do. Women control sex. Ah, nice face.
Some women are also cutting their hair in protest.
Minorities, we're so scared of a woman in power that you'd rather cozy up to the white man. Now, women are going to have to just refuse to participate. Sorry, if you're a man, I will not be responding to you. If you are a man, I will not be talking to you. I am going to be promoting the 4B movement.
Failed done.
I stopped using soap washing myself completely. This is my opinion, is that anybody who turns on their camera to film an outburst is not actually having an outburst. Like, no normal...
I would agree. They're just getting attention. Like, you gotta... I'm learning through social media that even though it seems stupid, you do need to... Even if you are... How do I word this? I don't know. They probably are upset. They're unjustifiably upset because they're upset over things that don't matter. Like if your shoelace was yellow instead of black or something like that, like it still ties and fits on your shoe. They're both shoes are like that, by the way. It's design, not like a flaw. I don't know. We'll see.
Person that's having a panic attack is like, oh, wait a minute, hold up, okay, let me log in. Okay, I'm gonna go live. Like, this is just attention-seeking weird behavior from, like, basically adult children.
Man, did you see that? I'm so glad, like, I didn't hear these screaming, crying ones. Ugh.
I immediately am like, okay, you're doing this for attention. You're doing this so people will feel sorry for you or give you what you think that you deserve. Obviously, I'm not saying every time a person cries on camera, it's always fake, right? I'm not saying that. Like, if it's a live stream, it's a little bit different, right? Because, like, it's happening spontaneously. But, like, if you turn on your video to make a 30-second video of you crying and yelling, yeah, you did this for attention. Absolutely, you did.
100% absolutely correct. Yeah, they're just attention seeking. It is what it is. Okay, let's see. What I kind of like about the YouTube live though is that it made it easy for me to tweet out that I was live. Nice. Okay, let's see. Men, women. We don't need men versus women survival competition. Oh, I've seen this one before. The men absolutely destroyed the women. I've seen it like 8 times. Stupid. He's so screwed. These are just kind of things that pop up on my feed. Oh, Ender's Game. Yeah, he definitely gets lied to. Oh, this is one that I thought would be interesting. Here's a... What's this? Yeah, here we go.
Okay, so about every hour, we see numbers changing here, but here's the makeup right now for U.S. control of the House. Now, remember, Republicans had it going into this election season. Donald Trump wins, president-elect now, and it helps some people and others there, the voters decide. But right now, Republicans are still in the lead. They flipped 6 seats. Democrats have flipped 4. And 2 Republican challengers in Pennsylvania defeated Democrat incumbents. So far, the GOP, again, 6 seats they flipped for a net gain of 2. Democrats, again, flipped 4. So they each had to do the same job. Republicans are running faster because of the counts, and they're running ahead. We're still waiting, though, for 25 House races to be called. So we can't look at this and say, yeah, this is going to happen for Republicans, or, yeah, this is going to be overtaken by Democrats. We don't know. The voters know. Several there with Republican incumbents are still too close to call.
The voters don't know either. Nobody knows. Nobody knows if the results are done. It's up to the voters, but they don't know.
So you're looking at the races that are pending right now. Watch this.
There's a path for Democrats to be in a very thin majority. And if we're not in a thin majority, it's going to be a very thin majority for Republicans. We know how that works. We were just in that, but we would much rather be in a position where the House can fence in the worst instincts of Donald Trump through our oversight and accountability measures by being in the majority. But we'll wait and see on it.
Jason Chaffetz, Fox News contributor, former Republican congressman of Utah, and Focus with me now. So, Jason, just your first reaction to the 25 that are still have not been decided yet, too close to call.
Well, shame on the states that take forever to actually count these votes. But above and beyond that, a lot of the Republican numbers, if not most of the Republican numbers, continue to get better. And they get better because Donald Trump was at the top of the ticket. Donald Trump has these coattails that just really help these House races. And so many of the people voted on the day of the election. Those numbers are much higher for Donald Trump than Kamala Harris. And so you have races like in Arizona, Dave Schweikert, who was behind, but now is up and ahead. He represents Scottsdale, Arizona. And so you have races like that where it just keeps getting better and better for the Republicans.
Well, and when you look at the differential, which you just pointed out, the big thinking was, and you heard this word, cannibalized votes for Donald Trump, that people would big and bold for the first time in huge numbers vote early for Donald Trump, but that there wouldn't be enough of them left on Election Day to help him win. Well, that wasn't even close to being right.
That was totally wrong. And there had a lot of people who decided day of. Donald Trump just kept getting stronger and stronger. Kamala Harris got weaker and weaker. I love that graphic I saw that showed that Kamala Harris, not even in not one county in the United States of America, did she outperform Joe Biden. And that's playing itself out now in these House races.
Well, look, voters around the nation rejected Democrats' woke ideology as an example, but some schools apparently didn't get that memo. They're also going to just ignore the people's choice. There are reports that high schools and universities across the nation have canceled classes and provided safe spaces for students. The goal is to help them, and this is a quote, recover from the presidential election.
And this is why those kids are going to grow up weak, because they're being coddled. You need to face adversity so you can come out stronger. There's like this quote thing I saw, life doesn't become easier, you just become more capable. And by giving them safe spaces, you're not allowing them to become more capable, you're protecting them. You're helicopter parenting, protecting them.
Well, this prompted a wave of criticism that these schools aren't preparing students for the real world. Georgetown.
Yeah, that's what I just said, basically. More words, but.
University reportedly invited students to a self-care suite on Wednesday to recover from the stress of the 2024 presidential election. Some Harvard professors canceled classes because some students were sad over the election's outcome.
Those Harvard professors, they just want the day off. They don't care.
Some also encouraged students to process in the aftermath of the election, adjusting course requirements so they could do so. Look, Jason, this is why a lot of their bills are down at some of the most elite colleges. Their balance sheets are about to be out of whack because parents are thinking, well, look, my kid doesn't think like that. My kid's not, as liberal as these schools. Why would I spend all of my cash putting them there? People are making decisions on this kind of behavior that these schools are displaying today.
They are.
It's so embarrassing. Campus Reform did some good research there. There's a FoxNews.com story about this. I mean, they were bringing in therapy goats. They were offering these kids so they could assemble Legos to distract them from the grieving that they were having to go through. Grow up. You're an adult. Donald Trump, your life is going to be better under Donald Trump. It's not going to be worse. And if you're crying and grieving and you just can't handle it, take a deep breath. The United States of America is the greatest country on the face of the planet, and the overwhelming majority of people voted for Donald Trump. Maybe you're on the wrong side of the issue, and maybe you should show some optimism that, hey, this country is going to figure things out. We were on the wrong track, and now we're going to get back on the right track. So it should be a glorious day, not one where you have to get a therapy goat and put together some Legos, for goodness sake.
Goats are cute, though. I'll just put that right in there. Look, the seriousness in all of this is that, Jason, and you and I talk about this with our families all the time. You have to be resilient. And we're seeing it modeled for kids on these college university campuses and high schools where resilience is not the roll call of the day, that the rally cry is be weak and let us make you weaker by sowing the seeds of weakness that are already in you. Your last word.
You have a generation where everybody got a trophy. And you know what? The kids didn't learn how to win and to lose. And when you have that kind of attitude and that coddling bringing you up, suddenly you go to college and you can't cope. So come on, parents. Time to get a grip, grow up, teach these people to be adults, and deal with adversity, if that's what they think adversity is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The colleges is basically, it's become a bunch of adult-sized children teaching future children how to become adult children instead of adults. They got coddled. They're calling the next generation. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it besides create strong social fabric through my show of Allfather Solutions. Which, by the way, a little bit delayed. I know you're not watching it now, but if you see it in the future, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. And I had some technical difficulties today, along with a little bit of sleeping in, I'll be honest. Where's my dog? Okay, she's sleeping out the window. Started to walk my dog earlier today. Slept in and walked my dog, and I had a bunch of technical issues, which, if you go back, I have like 3 or 4 live streams. Some of them are like 10 minutes. They're all like for the same day, though. That was me attempting to get to this stage, where I still have a 20-ish second delay. But until I get actual, like, viewers, I guess, I'm going to go ahead and stick with this. It's a little bit more interactive. But the YouTube one, that was almost no delay. So I'm going to have to remember that. Let's see. If Trump asked me to serve, I'd be honored. Yeah, I'm sure you would. Huh. Interesting. But mistakenly becomes a demon slave? Ooh. Well, at least sounds like it could be interesting. Because it's still popping out to the way we expect it to be. Here, watch. I'll show you real fast. I still got this up. We'll pop it up over here. Here's Arizona. And we can see... I guess we'll go back to this. It won't show me if I zoom in. But it's worth 11 points. Donald Trump has 52%. They're 82% counting in. And he's roughly 2 million ahead. Rounded. I mean, not 2 million. About 200,000 ahead. So it is what it is. And so as long as that doesn't suddenly flip, even if it does, it's only worth 11. Oops. It's only worth 11 points. How do I do this? There we go. It's only worth 11 points, and so even if she got it, it's still not getting her to 270. So even if he lost this, even if he lost Arizona, he'd still be getting it. So that's a nothing burger. Nobody cares about Arizona right now. It is what it is. Everything's locked in. We have this little tiny gap here, but that's probably Arizona. Again, I wish I recorded it, but I did the math when it was going down live at like 10 p.m. that day because I had to go to work. But I did the math and I said Trump could potentially win up to 312 points. And it looks like I'm going to be right. If this delay is only just, they're not counting Arizona yet, he gets out 11 points, that's 312. That means I was spot on with my math. I used this right here, by the way, to kind of, not my math, but to break down the point system. I forget what I did. I had like Arizona's like this, like those are, well, it was like this. That one's like that. And then we know he took Georgia. I think this pretty much is how it's supposed to be. No, see what I mean? The numbers are way off. What's going on here? Oh, because he had these as well. Right? Let me double check the map. Oh, I can't. Oh. Well, either way, I figured it out at the time. It was 312. Yeah, I know he had these. All those. Yeah, she has like almost nothing. Look at this red wave. I was hoping for a tsunami, but I think, and we still might get that tsunami. If we get the house, I'm gonna call it a tsunami boat. We should get it, but as of right now, it's still just a red wave, not the tsunami I'm looking for. My face on camera when I adjust. It is. Ugh, it's becoming cold too. Window is still open from this morning, from last night. Not from this morning, but from last night. Should we close that real fast? How many viewers? No, it's not like you guys care. Okay, I guess we're gonna do all this part of the way. Ooh, rough. Okay, I'm back. Don't see something cool though, but I think it's cool. Ugh. I caught. Let's see if I can. How am I gonna do this? She's more on this side. Can't really tell. Man, this is hard doing it opposite. How do I do this? Rotate it this way and then zoom in, I guess? It's a little hard to see, but that is a queen fire ant that I caught yesterday. So right now she's sitting on the cotton ball with the water. Got an air bubble in it. And hopefully she has been laid. I'm going to rotate this a little bit to see the condensation. Not condensation, but if you guys can't see it, but the water is pulling back, and it's supposed to basically be surface tension on the front side so she can drink water and stuff like that. So I might need to make an adjustment here. Poke a little, not a hole, otherwise the water comes out, but like a crater. Create a little pocket so that way the water can come up. It's been 24-ish hours. I'm honestly surprised she hasn't laid eggs. But she'll get around to it, probably. I'm not that worried about it. She either will or she won't. Okay, where are we at? 8:26. Okay, and let me double check my calendar. Yeah, so we're going to be going till 10 o'clock today. Okay, let's see. We have premium. Uh-oh, California's shocking electoral map. Here we go.
So California.
Wait, I saw something else too. I am done with Twitch. Okay.
So California.
Okay, so I used to live in California, so I'm heavily invested. I want to call it heavily. But I am invested in to see how they're doing, especially since in the sports and politics, they're kind of like the captain of the team on the other side. And so seeing how California changes and operates and votes and stuff, overall gives kind of a picture of what, say, Democrats in, like, say, New York, Oregon, Washington, you know, Chicago, and all those other kind of places, kind of like where they're at in their mental stuff. So we're going to go ahead and check out California real fast, according to Fox.
California Governor Gavin Newsom declaring, quote,
Yeah, I heard that Gavin Newsom, if he won, I think is by a thin margin. Like, I don't know all the details because this is me actively, you know, studying.
Freedoms we hold dear in California are under attack, and we won't sit idle. He's calling for a special legislative session to safeguard liberal California policies. The state's attorney general also warned of a second Trump term.
You can be sure that as California Attorney General, if Trump attacks your rights, I'll be there. If Trump comes after your...
Hey, real fast. Let me know in the comments, though, but this is the first time I've seen this guy. I don't know anything about him. But just the way he kind of looks and speaks, he sounds like a beta. But you all let me know. What do you think?
Our freedoms, I'll be there. If Trump jeopardizes your safety and your well-being, I'll be there.
Fox News contributor and civil rights attorney Leo Terrell joins us now. So, Leo, you got violent criminals all over the state attacking people, stealing people's personal property, because they passed a law that said you can steal under $1,000 without the police showing up to the scene. I never remember the attorney general banging on the table saying he's going to be there for them.
Right.
Lawrence, did you hear what he said? He said nothing, just word salad.
Yeah.
And what you have is you have Governor Newsom, who is a lame duck governor, trying to become relevant. It's a lame duck idea. They're going to have a legislative session in December to stop President Trump. Trump doesn't take office until January. And here's the point that's amazing. They can't stop Trump from removing illegal immigrants out of California. They cannot stop ICE from arresting illegal immigrants who have committed crimes. They can't do any of that. They're just talking. They're trying to remain relevant. And one point, Prop 36, a bill to increase penalties for shoplifting, passed by 70%. Gavin Newsom was opposed to that bill. These Democrats are in denial, Lawrence. They don't listen to the average American voter. Trump does.
I felt like he was about to say bro, right? Like blah, 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 bro. Listen, you hear him kind of like stutter. Not stutter, but he catches himself.
Gavin Newsom was opposed to that bill. These Democrats are in denial, Lawrence. They don't.
Yeah, see, it was like he wanted to say brother. There might be some editing in there. There was some sort of little thing. But I think his passion is coming up. It's leaking out, right? He lost composure for a split second. But I get it. These things can be infuriating.
Don't listen to the average American voter. Trump does, they don't.
Well, it's also a little delusion. I mean, let's just pop up this map of California. I've never seen California with so much red. I mean, and you just compare it to 2020, you would think there would be some self-reflection and say, hey, maybe we need to change some things, or we may flip it to being a Republican state.
I'll tell you what the problem is. The Democrats don't want to tell the truth. Donald Trump's message resonates with the average voter. That graphic earlier today on the show proves it all. Democrats is the party of the elite, the rich. Most working class Americans support the Trump policies. And what you saw on that map, Lawrence, was California, a deep, deep blue state, becoming a purple state because of one person, Donald J. Trump. That map is a wake-up call for Democrats. But the problem is they're asleep. They're in denial.
Yeah, they're too busy calling everything racist and misogynist. Every single group of people increase their turnout when it comes to Donald Trump. I think at some point you have to say, look, our policies are failing people, and if you want them back, maybe respond to those issues. Leo, thanks so much for getting up this morning.
My pleasure. Anytime for you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I get over that guy. He seems well put together. I've never seen that. I may have seen that guy before. I really don't know, to be honest. Get 6 presidents? What does it say? Okay, this is literally why people literally don't know how to use the word literally. I think it means figuratively. Why you figuratively get 6 presidents. What do you think? Is he like a Horcrux or something like that? He gonna divide his soul like Harry Potter or something? No. Relax. He's one dude. You don't need to treat him beyond anything like that. And remember, the presidency is basically just a presidential. Great, now I can't think of the word. Popularity contest. It's basically just a popularity contest. Okay, so that's what they're talking about there. RJ Talks, whoever that guy is. 2.2 million views 19 hours ago. Look at that. More than me. I got 0. Let's see. I miss when WoW was just a game. Yeah, me too. How vulgar. Oh, I've seen this guy before, actually. Okay, let's see. Just follow the rules. 9% can't. Facts. Do you know what I actually need to do? Even though this is live, this is going to be really boring. Oh, I can't do chart analysis because of things under maintenance. Daily profit loss 16,000%. I'm pretty sure you rate that. It's probably true, but we need to find out how he did it. Let's see. Perfect entry strategy. Lord of War. That's a good movie. Well, basically anything is good for weight loss. You just have to do it. Deleted from the Jedi archives. Okay, I guess. Okay. Who should he vote for? Well, I mean, if your girlfriend gives you any kind of ultimatum, by the way, walk away. Don't deal with that kind of nonsense. I mean, like, you know, context appropriate. Just to clarify that point real fast. On things that matter, walk away. On things that don't matter, then, you know, just pick one. Wow. I guess maybe Dr. Phil is being interviewed as well. I don't think Leonard doesn't drink very often in the show. Oh, that one moved. Now automatically raises threat level to maximum. I saw that earlier. I didn't click on it though. Well, okay, wait. No tax on tips. Even Trump and Kamala agree. Yeah, no. Trump thought of it, and Kamala's like, let me get on that bandwagon. Like, that's a good idea that's winning. Let me also adopt that. It's not the same thing as, like, they had a talk in the back room and came to a conclusion or something. Yeah, minority mindset. I recognize him and that guy, I think, and I saw similar stuff. Stock market hits record highs. Well, recent record highs. I doubt they busted the highs of, like, what was it? That would have been 2018-ish, 19, 20, you know, roughly right there. Right before COVID. I don't think we're higher than those. So, Mike's parking lot trick. The humans call it anthropomorphism. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, oh look, Aggro Squirrel is also live. Yeah, I like him. I watch him a lot. The other one I like though is Net Narrator, so we're gonna go ahead and click on this. We'll just be 10 minutes live. By the way, definitely show support and check out the Net Narrator channel. Again, I'm just live. I don't have any viewers or anything. I don't know. I'm not trying to get in trouble or anything, but definitely check it out. Net Narrator right here. And go with me on this journey. Oh, anthropomorphism. Anthro is like the study of human. It basically means humans. So that's why you have anthropology, which is the study of humans. So morph is kind of like a mix of the two things. And in this context, it's calling you're morphing an animal and a human to create a mashup. So if you've seen something like Zootopia, Chicken Little, things like that, where there's animals, but they act and behave like humans, i.e. standing up on their hind legs, talking, wearing clothes, even if it's maybe not pants, but they got shirts on or whatever, like Donald Duck or whatever. That is an anthropomorph. So the humans call it anthropomorphism, which means I'm guessing, that somehow they're going to explain to aliens projection of human characteristics on non-human things, like a rock or an animal. So we're gonna find out together. I'm gonna rewind it so it doesn't start in the middle of it, and let's do this.
All current contracts fulfilled.
Too far. This guy does a couple voice inflections too, which is one reason why I really like him.
The humans have withdrawn their contract for the combat drones, announced Latef, ID Defense Systems liaison officer to the human homeworld. Explain, demanded Aragath, the CEO. Latef shrugged, a mannerism she had picked up from long exposure to the humans. Aragath grimaced but did not comment. Such peculiarities were an occupational hazard for liaison officers, and typically indicated that they were good at their job.
That's fair.
The combat drone program ran by their military has been a failure, she explained. Does this mean that they are terminating all their contracts with us? Gasped Jorlef in alarm. She was the head of R&D, and was currently overseeing development of a multi-billion credit contract to design and produce exosuits for human soldiers. A contract that had the potential to raise her illustrious career to even greater heights. No, they still want all current contracts fulfilled. In fact, they seem eager to expand their business with us, replied Latef. It's just the combat drones project that has failed, and their generals were fairly satisfied that it wasn't our fault.
Okay.
Regardless whose fault it was, we require further explanation, insisted Aragath. Over 24 species use our combat drones. We must find out what issues the humans have. This could cause irreparable damage to our stocks.
Okay, so my guess is this is a good story. I like whoever wrote this. Again, net narrator is just narrating it. Usually they get these stories from across the internet. Reddit is a good source though, because they have its own category. Right here, HFY, which stands for Humans Fuck Yeah. So my guess is that the human soldiers were bonding with the combat drones, and for some reason it was creating a problem for the military. So they're like, "Now we gotta stop this particular one." That's my guess. Let's go.
With the board's permission, began Latef, inserting a data chip into the conference room's projector, I shall outline the main points of our combat drone program with the humans. ID Defense Systems were first approached by the human governing body, the United Nations, about 10 standard years ago to augment their military with combat drones. The plan was the same as all our other drone programs. Augment their frontline infantry with our combat drones to reduce biological casualties and fatalities. Like most species we have worked with, the United Nations ruled out an all-drone army on the grounds that they didn't trust robots acting alone to conduct themselves in accordance with local and galactic laws. We designed the first of the HCD series within a couple of years, and began rollout of a pilot scheme within 5 years of first being approached. As is our standard practice, we created a species-tailored combat drone built to resemble a baseline of that species. In the case of humans, 2 legs, 2 arms, a head atop the torso.
Okay, so what's probably happening now is that the robots are going to look too human, and they're going to thus bond. Like, the humans are going to have trouble differentiating between robot. Not like they can't tell the difference. But again, that attachment to inanimate objects. That's what, well, obviously in this case, robots are animated. But in this case, what a non-biological entity, that's probably where this is going to go. It's going to create, it's going to get like shot or something, and then the humans are going to overreact because, again, they've overly bonded because basically their robot design's too good. That's essentially what it is. So that's why they're like, it's not your fault. This is our problem. We have the strong drive to bond with things, and your things are too bondable. That's probably where this is going to go. We'll see, though. It's a fun story so far.
The full details are provided in Appendix C of my report. The prototype units, the HCD-1000 model, stood 6 feet tall in human measurements, and the head was left blank of any facial features, simply a blank panel covering the sensors and hardware. The idea was, a human-like drone could operate their weapons and vehicles without requiring they be modified. It could also wear human camouflage uniforms to blend in better. The prototype units were sent out to frontline units throughout the United Nations military. The UN are engaged against pirates and insurgent groups on a number of battlefields, and we, and the United Nations Security Council, felt these were perfect environments for an initial test of the drones. Of course, we were very confident, as over 24 species used our drones in everything from law enforcement to full-scale wars, and only the physical configuration of the HCD series was experimental. All the software and programming was battle-tested across the galaxy.
Okay, dope.
The problems began subtly. The UN troops who got the prototypes began to name them, and began to refer to them by these names and not by serial numbers or approved designations. They gave them insignia and unit patches, and some squads painted the chassis to more easily identify different units. We put this down to humans being uncomfortable with the concept of autonomous machines, and trying to make them more bearable to look at.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
Yeah, like I said, see, like, it's anthropomorphic. We're bonding with things, especially when they look human. Like, people do it to animals all the time, particularly dogs. One reason why people prefer dogs, not always, but one reason why most people prefer dogs over cats is because dogs have eyebrows, and so they're able to make facial expressions. Cats, for example, they just have that blank face. You know, they can kind of do it with their ears moving back and stuff. They can hiss, you know, lift up their lips. But dogs, like I said, actually have eyebrows. And so a lot of times when people look at animals, and dogs in my example, they will project a human thought or emotion onto it, even though that's not what's going on in the animal's mind. And then, so that's the kind of thing that they're doing. I'm guessing these humans are going to bond with the robot, and then when it gets destroyed, it's going to be basically the same as if they lost an actual human friend. And so that's why the military, my guess, is going to have to be like, no more of this. Like, we got to take they're too good. It's our problem.
After that, we began to notice that all but the most terminally damaged units were repaired and sent back to combat rather than being replaced or recycled. At the time, we put this down to a desire to save money, or misunderstanding of how the units learned. Perhaps the humans believed that the experience gained by a unit was limited to each individual unit. Again, we were wrong. The first serious incident happened with a squad of UN troops combating pirates in the outer reaches. One of their HCD units, HCD 1022, was seriously damaged after breaching a pirate ship and being caught by a booby trap. The unit was damaged almost beyond repair. Regulations stated that damage to that extent meant the unit should be recycled. The entire squad accompanied the remains of the unit to our workshops in their base. When our technicians informed the squad that they'd receive a new model, a number of soldiers became visibly emotional and insisted that they didn't want a new model. They wanted us to fix Logan. Apparently this was what they called the unit. Their use of human pronouns, they called it he and him, not it, should also have tipped off our technicians that something was wrong, but they were using a universal translator and were not well versed in human behaviour. Unfortunately, a junior technician told the squad leader that the unit would be recycled, at which point a soldier drew his sidearm and threatened to shoot the technician if he tried to hurt Logan. While his squad leader was able to persuade the soldier to holster his weapon, other members of the squad removed the damaged unit and brought it to human technicians to try and get it repaired. The full details of this incident can be found in Appendix J. We began to canvass the squads involved in the pilot scheme after this incident, and we discovered that the soldiers have formed emotional attachments to the units. All have been named, most have been cosmetically altered to make them appear more individual, and some units had their learning programs altered to allow them to simulate a rapport with the human soldiers. A full list is available in Appendix K, but there are a few particularly noteworthy examples. Many squads uploaded the rules for various ball or card games to their units, and had the units join them in these games during recreation time. A squad that was granted 2 weeks shore leave took their assigned unit with them against standing orders, and several of their photos depicted them engaged in various recreational activities, accompanied by the unit. When questioned, they simply replied that Vakara had worked just as hard as anyone else. Again, please note the humanizing language, and she deserved a break as well. However, the most serious incident, listed in Appendix N, was what caused the Security Council to cancel the contract. A UN light infantry squad was attacked by a group of insurgents on Raliath. The insurgents took out their HCD unit, HCD 1095 first, it being the most serious threat, and the squad were able to take cover behind a building. According to the after-action report, they then had the opportunity to retreat unscathed, but opted instead to go back into a kill zone of effective enemy fire to rescue the drone. There were sharp intakes of breath throughout the conference room. Lateef continued. 3 soldiers died, 4 more were seriously injured, 2 barely enough to be discharged on medical grounds. A nearby QRF had to be deployed to pull the squad out, which led to a full-scale firefight with the insurgents. 16 civilians died in the crossfire, with upwards of 30 injured, all because the squad wouldn't leave a damaged combat drone behind. "What did the survivors say?" asked Aragath. They said that Cujo had saved each of their lives many times over, and they couldn't just leave him to die. Even with the deaths of 19 biologicals, which they expressed regret for, they still didn't seem to think their reasoning had been in error. Dead silence. Their Security Council held a full investigation. They decided that the advantages of the program were outweighed by recent developments, and it was likely, due to the high durability of the HCD models, that there would be a repeat of the Raliath incident, perhaps even worse. They made the decision to cancel the contract, but submitted their full apologies, and insisted that we were not at fault. Lateef looked around the room. They still want all the other contracts fulfilled, the exosuits, power armor, new vehicle designs, and they have implied that they may revisit the drone program in some years' time, provided we can design a suitably inhuman drone. Their words. Aragath shook his head. 24 species use these drones. They aren't biologicals. They aren't alive. They don't feel anything. They aren't even intelligent. It's just simulated by code. Everyone else understands this. Why can't the humans? Lateef shrugged once again. They tried to explain it to me several times, but I couldn't understand it either, she admitted. It seems to be a trait peculiar to humans. Apparently, they call it anthropomorphism.
Yeah, yep. I like that word. I was watching this documentary or whatever. Not documentary. It's some sort of like, Maury kind of a show. And I forget what happened, but there was some lady up there who was speaking nonsense. And it wasn't the host, but, whoever was being interviewed by the host or something, I believe. Oh, no, it was somebody else in the crowd. Somebody else stood up in the crowd and basically shot that lady down. And she said something to the effect of I remember what she said, was an anthropomorphic water buffalo. To give you an idea of what this lady looked like. If you don't know what a water buffalo is, go Google that first and picture a humanoid-looking water buffalo. Also, if you look at Zootopia, I believe the police chief in the movie is a water buffalo.